Haven't had one of these for a minute or two, have we, mate?
In a little while.
Very rare at the moment. Cosworth block, 200. The 200 is the thick wall Cosy block as opposed to the 205. I am blind, can't see you at all.
Sorry,
weird.
mate.
It's all right, mate. But do I look good?
Got to get the lighting right back here.
So this has come from a lad, Jake, who came in yesterday all the way from Basingstoke to drop this off, mate, for us to do some machining. Jake is right in with the Cosworths. I think it stems from, well, it's him and his dad really, and his dad, back in the day, was very renowned in the Cosy world.
Oh, right.
Had one of the fastest Cossies in the country, apparently, if not the fastest. So basically, he's coming for 6 long studs, oil jets. We've got to bore it, obviously face the block, and we've got to bore it 0.25.
I always wonder how many more of these Cosy blocks there are that haven't already had long studs and all the rest of it.
I don't know, mate, but
Can't be that many left.
this is quite a rare one because it's never been faced, never been bored. Standard.
Nice.
Paid all the money for it though, but that's what they fetch, innit, these 200. Long gone are the days where these were 300 quid, mate. They're more like 10 times that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, doing the 6 long studs. Shown this before in previous videos, obviously, but because we haven't had anything Cosworth on for a while, we've got 2 or 3 motors in the pipeline though, Cosworth.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see 1 or 2 back in. So I've done 5. As you can see, I'm on my last one.
So you do the centre 6 on these.
You do the centre 6.
And the idea is you get rid of this thread in the top of the
Well,
block.
in fact, this one has got a crack. So that's the usual thing that happens, mate. Because this is a standard block, done many a year's hard abuse, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
What they tend to do is pull up, because you've got the thread in the top of here, like there, where the head bolt goes into. They pull the cast iron up and up and up until they get to a point where
It's cracked
it
right
cracks.
through both sides there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So what?
But that doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter once we've done the long stud.
Yeah.
Because what we do is we eliminate the thread in the top by drilling it out, and we put a drill and tap down in the base of the block.
Yeah.
And you've got a long stud that goes up to the sort of height of the original stud in total, and then you pop one of these little babies over the top of the stud and into that hole, mate. Yeah, so that's a 17mm O-ring, and just push that in there, mate, with a little bit of grease. I know I've said this before, and I'm repeating myself if you've watched the previous ones of me doing this, but I'm going to say it again, mate, because like I said in the last video, you cannot say things enough, can you? These two here are not a through hole into the water jacket. They're just a solid casting all the way to the base.
Right.
So you've got to drill the casting all the way out and put the thread in the bottom. So if these cracked, there's no way it can go into the water jacket.
Right.
You've got an oil hole there. I don't like to break through, so I sort of pull it back so you've got a little bit of meat there.
Yeah.
So those two are not through into the water jacket. These two are. We do these at a certain depth, which is 120mm. But these two, mate, have got a bit of an odd casting in the bottom. In there, mate, you can see there is a lug. Can you see that?
You can see it, just a bit trying to get a...
So that lug is before you get to the base. What people tended to do was do them at the same depth as the other 4. And then what happens is the first 10mm is in the lug, and there's only 10mm in the base. And what it tended to do was break that lug out, and then you've only got thread down the bottom. So what we do is go another 5mm deeper on these. You can't do it on the other side because you've got the oil gallery, which runs literally probably 5mm below the bottom of that thread that we're putting in. But these ones you can, and you don't have a lug in the other side anyway. Yeah. So we go 5mm deeper. So what I've got is, I've got my clearance drill, and I put some tape. That is the standard depth that we go. So this is the clearance drill, and that is the extra 5mm. So on these two, we go to that mark there, and the same on this one. Okay. So that is your tapping drill, which is, it leaves you 20mm of thread.
Right.
First step is we use this. First of all, I'll put it in, then I'll spin it up to make sure it's running central. And then raise the bed and pull the head down and wind it over until it touches on both sides. And the same in the other axis.
You could spend hours sort of properly clocking that, but it's
The trouble is, mate, it's just
not like a dead-on thing anyway. You
it's
don't
not,
know if the bolt hole's perfectly round.
No, it's not. I've found by doing this, it's, you know, you're within a couple of thou here and there, mate. You've got clearance. You've got plenty of clearance in the hole in the head anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to be far out. What I do is zero the beds there, then go down and put first of all, I put my clearance drill down and take the threads out the top of that block. It's a bit of an extra process, but on these two, I tend to go backwards and forwards, and I'll show you why. What I'm doing here is just
taking those threads right out.
I'm just taking this original thread right out. And you'll notice in a minute when we go through the thread, it comes to a stop. That is the bottom of the casting at the top here.
Right.
And then we're going to break through that. Okay. Then I'm going to just wrap it up until...
So you just loosen this off so it moves free.
Yeah.
So that when that touches, it doesn't start drilling.
Exactly. Right. So now we've got a support at the top where it's basically just drilled through. That's supporting the drilling to a certain point. You can see down the bottom there, mate, where it's just touching that casting.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is very lightly put a light bit of pressure on until it starts to cut. We don't want to put too much force, and the reason for that is because those lugs are a bit uneven, and we've had it in the past where there's a bit of flashing or a bit of odd casting down there, and if you try and put too much effort, it wants to push the drill away. So just a light bit of effort until it starts to cut. All right, and then what I do is go up and down and just make sure that that drill hasn't tried to wunder. If it has, then we're going to have to come up with a plan B, usually to put an end mill down there.
Yeah.
To put a nice flat on and start again. We've had that before where if you don't and it pushes it away, all that'll happen is it'll drill and tap on the piss, and then when you put your stud in, it'll end up like that. We've had blocks in, haven't we, like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, that process there where you're putting that little spot on is the most important process. Then what I do, rather than go alpha leather, I'll put my 17mm slot drill, I'll put that down. And the reason I do that is because, sounds silly, if we just go down now, that's just going to destroy my sellotape, and I'm going to have to put a different bloody bit of tape on there every time.
Well, you're trying to keep your drill reliable, so...
I'm trying to keep my drill reliable, so what I'll do is it's an extra process, but I'll just put my slot drill in and do that process, and that gives me nice clearance then for me to send that down to its point without damaging me tape, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that little bit of extra, it's a tiny bit of time in it, but it's a bit of extra care. So what we do with this one, mate, I keep this set up all the time. It's actually just over, it's like 17.2, that is. I always try and come up as high as you can every time with each process, and the reason for that is if we could have this, to face that block down here, by the time you wind this down, although this is central, it's not exactly central, so it's going to end up sort of over here. So I'll go to 0 down here. All right, then I touch this on, lock it up, back this off about 1/2 mil, and then we're going to be winding it down. That is 5mm deep, so we want to go 5mm, and I always go plus another 5 or 6 thou, and that is because I'm going to have to take some off the block. Okay.
Right, yeah.
So 5mm is 2 revolutions of this. 2.5mm is 1 revolution. Two revolutions plus 6 thou. Each little increment here is a thou. Okay.
I bet people love our metric imperial jumping back and forth.
Oh, fuck, I know, yeah. it's normal to me. So now, mate, we'll just get the old Hoover out quickly. And then we go down that. You'll see this start climbing when it touches the bottom, like so. Now, I'm going to be aiming for the second cracking little mark, mate, on the old tape. There we go. And you can see there, we've got a 5mm deep clearance hole, and then we're going to start to tap. There has been people in the past said, well, why don't you just start tapping from the top until you go all the way down to the bottom, just do it an extra 5mm deep. Reason for that is you could still end up breaking that off if you leave thread in there, so there's no point at all.
There's no point using it or relying on it for any kind of load.
No point at all. You're going to, all right, you'll probably end up with 25mm of thread if there's 25mm of thread on the base of the stud, but 20mm is more than adequate, and you've only got 20mm on the others anyway, so there's no point leaving that there. Just go down 5mm, eliminate the top of that lug, and there's no chance of breaking it off, because if it does break the lug off, and just from that extra 5mm thread you've left, it doesn't normally just break the 5mm off, it'll break it right down or crack it all to one side. So just eliminate that, mate. Start again 5mm deeper. You get me?
Yeah, I get that.
So there we go. I'm just going to run my final drill through now, my tapping drill.
Yep, so just a case of drilling and tapping.
Yep, so it's just once I've done that, I'm going to run the tap down. I always do the tap in manual so I can feel it.
Yeah.
I don't like to do it with the machine because you've got no feel.
Start it in the machine and then do it manual?
I start it in the machine,
just
make
so
sure it's central,
yeah.
then let it off, and I basically just keep an eye on there. The tap will centralise itself off the top anyway, and I just do it freehand. Because if it starts to go off one way, you can sort of pull it straight. A lot easier.
Yeah.
And there we go. Next thing I'm going to do, turn it over, do the oil jets, and then I'm going to see what pistons are available. As I say, we want to keep it as small as possible, so we'll go 0.25, which will be a Wasner piston.
Yeah.
He wants me to price up rods, so I said they do a piston and rod combo, and it's probably best to go a long rod. It's the way forward, isn't it? Big power.
Yep.
There we go. Nice to have a Cosy back, mate.
It is.
Hello, guys. Got the old Meta glasses out. Had a little bit of an issue with the old Meta glasses, actually. Oh, cyclist here. Be very careful of the old cyclist. Never know why they come on this road. Very dangerous. Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue with the old Meta glasses, guys. Froze. So I had to chat GPT how to unfreeze them. Anyway, made a decision, which is probably going against definitely the purists. Not that my Escort Mark 1 is pure. I've had to make a decision, guys, on what to do about me gauges. So I bought an adapter that converts the signal from the Emerald K6 ECU to my existing rev counter, and it seems like the rev counter's gone kaput. There's a signal coming out of the ECU from the orange wire, from the adapter, but gauge is knackered. Obviously the speedo, when it did work, which it don't now, was miles out. It was like probably about 20 mile an hour out, and the faster you went, the worse it was. So I've been looking at GPS speedos at 80mm to fit in the old pod, in the old dash there, but to be honest, they're so expensive. I sort of ended up having a look last night how much it would cost, although it's not all original and it's a bit sort of too modern for the era of the car. It would definitely make sense for me, and that is the digital dashes. So I've ended up purchasing a blank fiberglass Mark 1 Escort pod here, where your clocks would normally go, and I've also ordered a Pro Tuner digital dash. So I don't know whether you want to Google them, have a look, but apparently they're pretty good and they're great value for money, on offer at the moment, and they do everything I want to do. So they plug directly into the K6 Emerald, and they basically everything that is in that ECU, all my sensors, because I've got everything from the Escort going into that ECU now, like all my water, my air temperature sensor, all pressure and everything, that will show up on the dash. So it will have shift lights on it, it'll have a rev counter, it'll have GPS. It comes with a GPS sender, or a GPS antennae sort of thing. It will have a GPS speedo, so it'll be accurate. It's got all my stuff. It's even got the lambda and everything on it, guys. So although it's not period, I've decided to make that choice and buy that. It's pretty much, if I had to start buying gauges for fuel, the oil pressure, my speedo, my rev counter, it cost way more than what that was. It was about 550 quid including the VAT. So yeah, no brainer. A decent 80mm GPS speedo is about 300 quid. So yeah, no brainer guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. As I say, not pure, not period, but definitely makes sense, especially if I do a track day in it. Last thing I'm going to be doing is watching them silly dials. You want something that's going to flash up if there's an oil pressure issue or something like that. So yeah, unfortunately it really is nice to have the period gauges and stuff, but no, definitely makes sense. So should get that in about a week and a half. Easy enough to wire up. Let me know what you think in the comments guys, and I will just enjoy my 7-mile trip now to the man cave in the Clio, which I'm thoroughly enjoying at the moment. So let me know what you think guys about me modern touch to the old 1970s Escort Mark 1. We'll see what that's like when it turns up, and have a great evening. See you later.